Trisha? Do you like her? Do you hate her? Feels like people either love her or hate her. I'm torn in between. I don't know. I do understand she's a big troll. So let's talk about it for a minute. A couple videos ago I made saying that if she returned to the H3 Frenemies podcast, that it was completely made up, that it was a phony, as Rich would say, it's fake the house. So, and that's what I believe. It's fake the house. Okay, but let's just for a minute just believe that I'm completely naive and I believe everything that's going on. Okay? All right, here we are. So Trisha went back on to the H3 podcast, and once again, Dr. Drew showed up to save the day. And speaking of that, I would like to know what your guys' opinion is on Dr. Drew. Like, I don't know. I really don't. Is he a real doctor? Did he just get so famous dealing with all these celebrities that that's all he wanted to do? I know I seen him on like Teen Mom and all that, giving them advice. I just see him with a lot of, celebrities. Kind of like Dr. Phil. He's a doctor, but what I'm saying. Oh, this podcast, I'm not even going to lie, I kind of had trouble watching it after a while. And they started doing like the testing. So they were doing like the mental tests on Trisha and Ethan. If they're narcissists, if they're not. Ethan wasn't. He rated low. Trisha was like high on the scale. I don't know. It was boring the house. I do feel like Dr. Drew went a lot harder on Ethan than he did on Trisha. Like, I think he gives Trisha so many passes, as I think a lot of people do, because of her mental state. And I've talked about that before in other videos. I myself, I deal with some mental issues. I understand. But with that being said, when do we become responsible for our actions? Especially when we understand and we know that we have these mental issues and we've talked about them for so long, we've worked through them for so long, you're aware they're there. But yet, every single thing you do, and especially when you get called out for something that's wrong, your first thing to do is run to, well, I have these mental issues. When does that stop being an excuse? I want to know, really. When do we take accountability for our actions and the things we say and do? I understand people have slip-ups. I'm somebody who gets very irritated very fast. And sometimes I don't mean to. Inside, I'm just irritated, and I take that out on people that's around me. And afterwards, I feel so bad because that's not the person I want to be. And I'm trying to work on being a better person, and I think I've came a long way. But there are still times where I have hiccups, and I'm that person. But I stop myself, and the people around me say, wait a minute, you need to check yourself. So I guess they're not going to have another podcast until the new year. So then Trisha, and actually I think this was before she went back on the podcast, she went on another podcast, which is BFF's podcast. I've never heard of this. It has Dave Portnoy and Josh Richards. I think Josh Richards is a TikToker. Not sure. I don't know who TikTokers are. I know there was a big thing about Dave Portnoy being older and this Josh being like 18 or really young, and people were saying it was creepy. Ethan said it was creepy. So then Josh got on the podcast while Trisha was on there and was calling out Ethan. And I would think that would be putting her in a very odd situation, because he was talking about Ethan's twitch with his eye and all that, something that Ethan cannot control at all. And I think that was just completely low. That was a low ball. It was disgusting. I read the comments underneath it. Everybody else agreed. It was absolutely disgusting. So then there was a quiz for Trisha, asking her about different celebrities and influencers and asking if they are canceled or they're not canceled. So I will briefly go through this. For Jeffree Star, Trisha said he should be canceled for calling her fat. So if you don't know, Trisha's kind of went back and forth on being Jeffrey's friend. Sometimes she is, sometimes she's not. I think they all met up somewhere. I think it was Las Vegas, not really sure. And something that might have been the time where Rich gave him the purse. But after Trisha had left, they were like clowning her about her weight and all that. Trisha was cool with him for a long time after that, even knowing that. But then recently, now I guess she's not okay with it. I don't know. Then she talked about Addison Rae. I guess another TikToker, don't know. Said she should be canceled because she is arrogant. Then she spoke about the D'Amelio sisters. And she said they should not be canceled. I was very surprised about that. But then she went on to say, because their 15 minutes of fame is almost up anyways. No, that's not really what she said, but pretty much. She says that they have a small window of fame. They don't have much going for them except TikTok. So that's the shade she threw there. Then James Charles came up on there. We all know how she feels about James Charles. She called him a pesticide. She brought up the age gap with him and the D'Amelio sisters, Charlie, talking about it was gross that they're hanging out. And then they brought up Shane Dawson. She said, of course, we all know she's very good friends with Shane Dawson. She said not canceled. Hopefully he'll be back on the internet. All I can say on that is I think that friendship is pretty solid, and I can't say nothing about Trisha on that. I think that's awesome that she stands up for Shane after all the criticism he's gotten. It would be easy to kind of flip the boat and go the other way, but she hasn't. She stood there and has had his back the whole time. So that's an awesome friend to me, if you ask me. So then David Dobrik got brought up, and I'm not really sure who David Dobrik is. I know there's a lot of issues with them, of course, so she said he should be canceled. Nikita Dragon, she said should not be canceled, but hangs with Tony Lopez, who should be canceled. And then Tana Mongo, is that how you say it? I'm not sure. She said not canceled. I guess they've had some issues in the past because of her ex or David Dobrik bringing up threesomes with her, and she really felt uncomfortable. Violet, again, I'm not sure who that is. I'm assuming a TikToker. So I guess she stuck out her belly and said something about fat women were ugly and unattractive, and she's skinny. So Trisha said that's absolutely disgusting behavior, and she shouldn't fat shame women, so she should be canceled. Then Jake Paul came up, and she said not canceled. Says that, talking about how Jake Paul has two personalities. One is how he acts online, and one is how he acts offline. And he's this nice, person offline, but he acts out to get all this attention when he's online. So he has two different personalities. Fake the house. So what do you guys think about that? Are you guys still gonna watch the H3 podcast? Is that something you're interested in? I do like the dynamic of them too. I understand it's fake. Even though they keep saying it's not. Really. I'll probably keep watching it. I don't really care for it with Dr. Drew on there and doing all them testing. That was boring. That was probably the most boring episode I watched. So, you guys, let me know what you think about everything. Please like, comment, and subscribe in this video. And until next time, I'll see you later, guys. Bye.